Did you know that there are 11 stages of having a spiritual awakening? Now let's dive into them. The first one is the change in your consciousness. That is the realization that there's a little bit more, but yet still you're not able to grasp that. But you start to be interested in spiritual concepts and changing reality and quantum jumping, and basically also to discover the differences between ego and soul. Phase number 2, the first conscious attempt to connect with the soul. So that's where we start to practice meditation, we start to do breath work, we start to do mirror exercises, we start to get into personal development, we start to work on ourselves. We have that nudge to do things, to educate ourselves, to grow, because the deepest desire of the soul is to expand and to grow consciously. Phase number 3, the first internal spark. So that is the moment where you realize, oh my God, there are so many positive changes since I'm doing all those exercises, with talking to myself in the mirror, with practicing affirmations, with doing all those amazing courses online, reading those interesting books from Joe Dispenza or Eckhart Tolle, or getting, consuming all that amazing content from other conscious people. Phase number 4, the outer reality starts to bring chaos, and that's where the bigger shift starts to happen. So suddenly you first had an internal spark. It was the first little spark. Then the outer reality starts to shake everything up. That means suddenly you lose your job, everything starts to be chaotic, you start to have fights and disagreements, and suddenly you're just wondering what the heck is going on. Like, what you feel like being thrown into a tornado and just being swirled around. Phase number 5, the deep awakening. So that's the phase where we feel, okay, our gifts start to kick in. We suddenly are able to pick up on energies. Suddenly our psychic abilities start to kick in. Our intuition gets stronger. Maybe we're able to suddenly see things that before we were not able to see, or suddenly we can hear voices that we were not able to hear before. We are able to feel the presence of spirits that is creepy as fuck for the human brain and our ego part. Phase number 6 is the dark night of the soul, part 1. So this is the phase where all the illusions start to fall away. It's the illusion of all the outdated systems that we had, all the limiting beliefs, and realizing that we're living in a quote-unquote matrix and a game of illusion, right? And that's a deep soul shock. And with that comes also a type of deep grief phase, because suddenly the soul is in control and realizes that the human self was betraying itself. And with that connection, clicking together, there comes a deep sorrow, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that I did not play out fully so far, and I feel so sorry that I did not know my potential. And there's like a deep grief going on. Phase number 7, that's the second part of the dark night of the soul, which another shock wave comes in. It's the shock realization of, I am an infinite soul having a human experience, and with that suddenly all the suppressed trauma comes to the surface. So that is the second shock wave, where suddenly everything that our human self was suppressing the whole life just comes to the surface like an erupted volcano, and we're just like, oh my God, when will this stop? And you just try to suppress it down, but your soul is guiding you through the whole process, wanting you to become limitless and free from all your human limitations, because the goal of the soul is to step into its own divine potential. And that is not possible as long as the human self is having too many limitations. Phase number 8. That is another shock wave. So many shock waves, I know. So that is the phase where suddenly we start to be aware of our trauma. So first everything had to come to the surface and you don't get what's going on. Then after everything has settled a little bit, you start to see your trauma, all right? And the purpose of that is because all those internal things, they want to be purged out. So that is the first initiation of, okay, I see those things, I know that I gotta take responsibility, and slowly there comes the willingness to work yourself through those things, because you know and you understand that you have to do that in order to evolve more. Because suddenly, when you are connected back with your soul, the pain of unexpressed potential becomes so big that everything that you desire to do is to heal your trauma and to step into your unfuckwoodability. Phase number 9. Here the healing process begins. That's the deep work where we start to put in. You know that it's time to work yourself through your topics. You know that it's time to really dig deep within yourself, to take care of your inner child, to balance your feminine and masculine energies, to do ancestral work, to do shadow work, and basically to cleanse from the inside out. Phase number 10, the big metamorphosis. So in this phase, we're going through the deep transformation. Here we have already transmuted a big chunk of our internal trauma, yet we're still in the healing phase, but already on the next level. So here is also the phase that takes the longest, right? Because we're facing our topics and we're going through so many shifts during that one phase that then also old connections start to fall away. Basically, everything that is not resonating with that already higher version of ourselves, that is still in the healing process and in the self-activating process, but has already transmuted a lot of things. So here we see that friendships, family connections, old hobbies, old identities start to fall away. It's a very intense purge, which is also necessary in order to make space for the next phase, which is phase number 11. Phase number 11 is basically the embodiment of your absolute higher self, which is the infinite soul having the human experience. Here you are stepping into your light. You are in touch with your gifts. You have already transmuted such a big amount that you know you can now help others. It's the phase where you also know what is your purpose. You know and remember what you came here to do, and now you are ready to shine your light and to really express your divine potential on planet Earth. If you want to learn more about spirituality, psychology, and the connection to God, make sure to follow for more.